Welcome to Module 6, the last module of this course. In this last module, we will look at your life. It's about happiness and meaning and how your inner resources will help you on your journey of life with expansion, development and growth.
How we live our life. As soon as we rise above mere survival, the question of meaning and purpose becomes of paramount importance in our lives. Many people feel caught up in the routines of daily living, which seems to deprive their lives of significance. Some believe life is passing them by or has already passed them by. Others feel severely restricted by the demands of their job and supporting a family, or by their financial or living situation. Some are consumed by acute stress, others by acute boredom. Some are lost in frantic doing, others are lost in stagnation. Many people long for the freedom and expansion that prosperity promises. Others already enjoy the relative freedom that comes with prosperity and discover that even that is not enough to endow their lives with meaning. There is no substitute for finding true purpose, but the true or primary purpose in your life cannot be found on the outer level. It does not concern what you do, but what you are. That is to say, your state of consciousness. So the most important thing to realize is this: your life has an inner purpose and an outer purpose. Inner purpose concerns being and is primary. Outer purpose concerns doing and is secondary. Inner and outer purpose are so intertwined that it's almost impossible to speak of one without referring to the other. Your inner purpose is to awaken. It's as simple as that. You share that purpose with every other person on the planet because it's the purpose of humanity. Your inner purpose is an essential part of the purpose of the whole. And your outer purpose can change over time. It varies greatly from person to person. And finding and living in alignment with your inner purpose is the foundation for fulfilling your outer purpose. It is the basis for true success. Without that alignment, you can still achieve certain things through effort, struggle, determination, and sheer hard work. But there is no joy in such endeavor, and it invariably ends in some form of suffering.
The search for the Holy Grail, happiness. What is happiness? What makes you happy? What does happiness consist of? According to Wikipedia, happiness is being satisfied with the current living conditions. Various positive emotions can be present, such as joy, peace, relaxation, and cheerfulness. Bertrand Russell writes in his book The Conquest of Happiness that animals are happy as long as they are healthy and have enough to eat. Unfortunately, this does not apply to humans. People are only happy if they are part of the flow of life and can share their experiences with others. People need people. And being happy is the opposite of being unhappy, which is associated with depression, stress, anger, fear, or sadness. The feeling of happiness is caused by the production of endorphins that cause a loving feeling and are closely involved with the reward systems in our brain. Feelings of pleasure are caused by dopamine, serotonin, and adrenaline. Being happy plays an important role in our lives. People have an innate neurological aptitude for happiness. Whether this talent is used optimally depends on the choices you make in your life. Creating something yourself ensures longer lasting happiness because you can look back on it for a long time. So happiness is not a coincidence, it's a choice. And you can measure it by the good feeling that goes together with happiness, a positive state of mind. In Buddhism, happiness means feeling happy or satisfied with no suffering or unhappy feeling. You're at peace with how life presents itself to you in the here and now. You achieve happiness by removing pain and suffering. You do this by being focused on appreciation, acceptance, kindness, and compassion. And to move away from hatred, desire, ignorance, selfishness, and egoism. The basic assumption is that happiness is always there and that you can experience this happiness at any time. Sometimes there's no happiness, and that is because there is desire or because things from the past are lived in the present. Happiness remains an elusive phenomenon. Sometimes you're unexpectedly overwhelmed by it and it slips away between your fingers. You cannot hold on to it. Happiness is not in the past and not in the future. It's experienced in the here and now. So what's the point of traveling back in time, looking for memories of happy moments if you forget to embrace happiness every day? Happiness has to do with the quality of life and the meaning you give to the events in your life. According to an old Chinese saying, the recipe for happiness is someone to love, having something to do, meaningful use of time, and the hope for something beautiful in the future, awareness of a tomorrow. Happiness is ultimately about a sense of safety, tranquility, satisfaction, and an overview, being able to take time and distance for self-reflection. How can you be happy? Tolstoy once said that happiness does not depend on the things outside of you, but on the way you see them. This means that you can decide for yourself how you look at the world and what meaning you give to things. So there are some ingredients to be found that signify increase the chance of happiness, such as being grateful for the beautiful and good things in your life, doing what you derive pleasure from, and quitting what makes you unhappy. Knowing yourself better and reflecting on how you are doing and what you need in the moment can contribute to creating happiness. Accepting that which is an important key. There is no continuous sense of happiness. Happiness is never complete or lasting. No pleasure without pain, no joy without sorrow. Good and bad times are part of life, like the ebb and flow are part of the sea. Carl Jung wrote about this. Even a happy life is unthinkable without a certain degree of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it was not balanced by grief. It is much better to accept things patiently and with equanimity as they are. We apparently need the opposites. Many people are looking for happiness, so you're not alone in this search, and much has been written about it, and we can learn from what others have discovered about this. Even better is learning from yourself. You have undoubtedly experienced moments of happiness, and hopefully you still know moments of happiness regularly. Ask yourself what happens in such a moment. Take a minute to travel back in time to such a moment. Stop for a minute and see if you can relive the moment in the here and now and capture it for yourself. Ask yourself what it is that you experience in such a moment. What do you see? What do you hear? And what do you feel? What thoughts do you have? What do you say to yourself? And if you relive different moments, then what do they have in common? Which ingredients are in it? Where are you and with whom? What exactly are you doing? What skills do you use? What do you believe in and what is important? How do you experience yourself? And where does the feeling of happiness come from? Just ask yourself these things and contemplate and self-reflect. Mo Gaudat has described the formula for happiness in his book, The Logic of Happiness. He said, happiness equals that what life gives you, or rather your perception of the events in your life. So it's about your expectations of life. The key is that you can choose your perception and your expectations. You determine how you perceive and interpret the things in your life. You determine which desires and expectations you have. Perception is driven by past experiences and your image of reality. Expectations arise as a projection in the future. In the here and now, there are no perceptions and expectations. In the here and now, there is only complete acceptance of what there is. You can follow the happiness formula and actively get started with your interpretations and expectations of life, or you can develop mastery in being in the here and now. And perhaps a combination works best for you. Change. The meaning of life? Why? Why are we so afraid of change? Why does releasing the old frighten us? Why are we so afraid of the new? Why? Change is difficult for many of us, even if you desire it so deeply. Perhaps you would like to change, but secretly hope that everything stays the same. Do you recognize the feeling when you are trapped in a circle of pain, sadness and suffering? The feeling that there's no way out, that you are completely stuck? Stop resisting change, and that is already quite a change. Fully accepting what there is the beginning of new possibilities. From acceptance, you can learn to let go so that there is room for something new, something else. The moment you let go of the resistance, you can be a conductor of the universal life energy, and you come into contact with your infinite potential. To formulate it more precisely, you are pure potential. If the resistance is lifted, you are fully present. And then change becomes the transformation to your true self. And then you overcome the fear that stops you from living your full potential. If you understand how you ended up in the dark, you will be able to grasp the way back into the light. In other words, you will first have to drink the bitter cup to later realize that it appears to be the elixir of life. Do not be afraid to experience, because the more you experience, the more you grow, know, and feel. In short, change is necessary and inevitable. It is better to start a journey instead of getting stuck in the pain of the moment. And perhaps you will be surprised by the unexpected, the miracle of life. Intuition, your inner voice. On your journey, it is always important to stay in touch with who you are and what you really want. For this, you need to be in silence. In the silence, you can best hear your inner voice. To get in touch with your intuition, you focus your attention inwards, towards your heart. If you do this regularly, you will get to know yourself more and more, and you dare to trust your feelings more and more. You can then follow your prompts more easily. Neurologist Antonio Damasio has discovered that when you make difficult decisions, your feelings and the physical sensations that go with them can help you make the decision. This feeling comes from your unconscious. All your life and learning experience are stored in your unconscious and serve as a compass for following the right path and making the right choices. Your inner resources. Your intuition is an inner resource, and the source of resources is you. You can find your strength, confidence, inspiration, and passion outside of yourself, but the way in is the only way that leads to the answers that you are looking for. The true art of living is living in the moment, in the now. Everything that is today becomes yesterday, and tomorrow becomes today. So live now. Then yesterday and tomorrow are no longer important. This makes it easier for you to attach and detach, grasp and let go, fully step into the moment and say goodbye to the moment when the time is there. Life and death are also a metaphor. They stand for fully opening up to the love and life energy that is all around you. If you plug into this infinite source, you will be nourished. If you close yourself off, you die inside and you live your life without passion. Survival is then a better word. A life energy is the unconditional acceptance of everything there is. The uncertainties in life, the doubts, the emotions, the despair. Even the unconditional acceptance of yourself as a fantastic, beautiful being. This goes best in silence, when you can allow an experience of timelessness and expanded consciousness. Abundance. This is also an excerpt from A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Who you think you are is intimately connected with how you see yourself treated by others. Many people complain that others do not treat them well enough. They say, I don't get any respect, attention, recognition, acknowledgement. They say, I'm being taken for granted. When people are kind, they suspect hidden motives. Others want to manipulate me and take advantage of me. Nobody loves me. Who they think they are is this. I'm a needy little me whose needs are not being met. This basic misperception of who they are creates a dysfunction in all their relationships. They believe they have nothing to give and that the world or other people are withholding from them what they need. Their entire reality is based on an illusory sense of who they are. It sabotages situations and relationships. If the thought of lack, whether it be money, recognition, or love, has become part of who you think you are, you will always experience lack. Rather than acknowledge the good that is already in your life, all you see is lack. Acknowledging the good that is already in your life is the fountain or the foundation for all abundance. The fact is, whatever you think the world is withholding from you, you are withholding from the world. You're withholding it because deep down you think you are small and that you have nothing to give. Try this for a couple of weeks and see how it changes your reality. Whatever you think people are withholding from you, praise, appreciation, assistance, loving care, and so on, give it to them. If you don't have it, just act as if you had it and it will come. Then, soon after you start giving, you will start receiving. You cannot receive what you don't give. Outflow determines inflow. Whatever you think the world is withholding from you, you already have. But unless you allow it to flow out, you won't even know that you have it. The source of all abundance is not outside of you. It is part of who you are. However, start by acknowledging and recognizing abundance without. See the fullness of life around you, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the display of magnificent flowers outside the florist shop, biting into a succulent fruit, or getting soaked in an abundance of water falling from the sky. The fullness of life is there at every step. The acknowledgement of that abundance that is all around you awakens the dormant abundance within. Then let it flow out. When you smile at a stranger, there's already a minute outflow of energy. You become a giver. Ask yourself often, what can I give here? How can I be of service to this person, this situation? And you don't need to own anything to feel abundant. Although if you feel abundant consistently, things will almost certainly come to you. Abundance comes only to those who already have it. It almost sounds unfair, but of course it isn't. It's a universal law. Both abundance and scarcity are inner states that manifest as your reality. Life and death. Imagine the following metaphor. One day a bird lands on your shoulder and travels with you. Every day you ask the bird if today is the day that you will die. Death can come at any time. Are you ready to go? And if not, what needs to happen in your life to actually be ready to go at any time? The bird symbolizes the consciousness of life and death, and sits on everyone's shoulder at every moment in life, regardless of how young or old you are. If you know how to die, only then you know how to live. This means that you must fully accept that life is finite, that you are only here temporarily, and that there will come a time when you have to let your life go. If you fully realize this and live every moment, you can fully value and appreciate your life. You can then live in the here and now and do what your heart tells you. Every moment is a chance to do what makes you happy, so you won't regret it when the bird sings its last song. The meaning of life is the desire to live. And this sentence is there every moment. The most important thing in life is life itself. This is the end of this module and also the end of this course. Thank you for participating. I am convinced that you have received many insights and tools for your life. I am sure that with this information you have made the transformation from external dependence to your own inner strength. You can watch these videos over and over again, and you can do the exercises as many times as you want. You can listen to the audios whenever you need it. Because we are always growing, we will have to tap into our inner resources time and time again, and we can use the tools that I have provided for this. I wish you a lot of success and especially love and fun on your further journey of life, and I hope that we will reconnect at some point in the future again. Lots of love from me.